I see that hamster's really spinning off the wheel there, buddy. You having trouble?
Smoke's coming out. No, we only have time to watch one movie, but I can't decide which one to watch.
All right, we got Jurassic Park and Anaconda. What if I told you there's a movie that has the effects from Jurassic Park, but the writer of Anaconda?
That sounds horrible.
All right, guys, here we're going to talk about the movie Komodo. 1999's Komodo. Lee, had you seen it before?
I don't see how it's possible, but no. I don't think I've seen this.
This one was one I remember it came out to VHS directly. I don't believe it had a theatrical release.
Oh man!
And I remember seeing it on the new release wall and being like, "What is this?"
Komodo time.
I rented it and I enjoyed it, and I've seen it many times since.
Okay, I think it sucks.
It's not the best.
No, so we have like a dilemma here, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've seen a lot of movies where like it's a creature feature and like the creatures are like CG and they're bad, or there's some weird thing about the creatures and like that part is lacking. But the movie is maybe fun, and maybe the fact that the effects are bad just adds to like the fun.
Yeah, this is the opposite.
And like this is like good effects, but the movie is like nothing. And at that point, there's like nothing. It's like a tech demo. I hated every minute of.
I will say, especially on VHS, it looked even better.
Yeah, right.
Because it was almost seamless, the practical effects to the digital. In this, you know when one's with the other, but they still are very very watchable.
But based on the time and like what else was around it and stuff, these effects are like relatively amazing compared to other stuff that we've watched.
For sure.
In this era.
But yeah, it is lacking in the storyline. We will definitely get into that part in the spoilers and totally rip it apart. I will say I recommend watching it though, because it is like a fun creature feature movie. It's not too fun though. So.
No, I think there's a lot more you could pick above this. I'm going to say no.
Well, I'd say there are better movies to watch for sure.
Like more
Should you
fun
watch
movies or whatever.
all of them? Yes.
Okay, so if you're a completionist trying to get every trying to get every card,
you got to catch them all, Lee.
And you've missed Komodo, maybe check it out. But but otherwise, don't.
The best of the Komodo movies.
Okay, are there more?
Not in direct franchise
Okay,
but there are other Komodo movies.
I was going to say, do you just mean Komodo 2?
There's Curse of the Komodo, there's Komodo versus Cobra.
Komodo 2, the new batch? What are we talking about?
All right, guys. So if you've seen it or don't care, falls over spoilers, and if not, pull out now.
If you need a place to rent content, you better listen. We're Cannibal Video, and we eat the competition.
All right, so here we are for the spoilers of Komodo. So I know you didn't like this one, and I can probably imagine a lot of the reasons why you didn't like this one, because things don't make sense. And why would you want them to?
I don't care if they make sense. They were just boring.
Well, yes.
And not make sense in the way that I don't know, people say this a lot. They say, I didn't care about the characters, or like, why are these people there? Or like, what's happening or whatever. And I feel like those are like overused like sayings now, because this for me is finally the one where I'm like, I didn't care about these characters. I have no idea why the fuck they're there. The whole pretense and setup is so weird and dumb. It's like
the
bad.
setup is my biggest issue with this.
Yeah.
Like I was gonna say I could care less if I care about the characters, but because in a movie like this where I'm like, that's a visual feast. I'm here for the Komodos.
Yeah.
I needed a few things to be explained. Like one, our first guy is like an animal trafficker guy. Why is he even on that island?
Which first guy? Oates? The guy, the hunter?
No, the very first guy who throws the eggs out.
Oh God, yes.
That's how the whole movie starts. Is there's a guy who's trafficking animals, and you're like the island that this takes place on is like a small community island where like by the end of it, it's literally no one lives there. It's just an oil company.
Yeah.
But before that, there's a few houses on it. It's families. Like the port isn't on this island. You have to take a fucking boat to get to this island.
And they're like scientists or something. There's something happening.
It doesn't make any sense. So then you can determine that it's just normal Komodo eggs. He throws them off the ledge,
exactly.
and 19 years later, we experience a problem. This is a island where they go on the summers. Our fake Zac Efron kid.
Oh, nice. Okay.
It's seemingly every summer, because the house is well maintained. There's someone who's paid on staff to keep the house, even though, something happened. Presumably a Komodo got in at some point or whatever.
We are led to believe.
Oh, no.
I thought we arranged with What's-His-Name to check in on the place.
Well, we did.
Yes, but they are freakishly large. In a way, like, wait, I need explanations on this. Oh, is the oil company doing something?
No.
Is this actually a cover-up, and they're doing some sort of experimentations? No, they're not. The whole involvement this oil company has in the cover-up is that, oh no, we're drilling for oil. We can't also be on endangered species land, but they don't live there.
No. Like in real life, the zoo would just get the Komodos and take them away, right? Like it's crazy.
Super strange.
No, and I don't like. They're just normal Komodos. I know that's not a deal breaker.
In all ways, except for the fact that they are dinosaur size.
Yeah, they can get 10 feet long in like real life, but I think that always includes the tail. They're
it does.
Cheating.
These are
huge.
like 20 feet long,
They're
like from nose to tail, and they are so fucking thick.
Yeah,
they're gigantic.
Right. Yeah. I think if you look on Wikipedia, it says 10 feet long and like 150 pounds is like the max.
Yeah. This thing
this is not a
weighs a ton.
These are dummy thick compared to that size. Which again, that would be cool if this energy company was doing weird experiments, or if like the drill found ancient eggs and they're not or some fucking thing, and like all the other movies where the monsters look like shit make stuff up like that.
Yeah.
They don't just say all
this
just
where it's an
Komodos.
actual normal Komodo. You're like, what the fuck? And it's very weird because like there are drums like in the swamp, and you're like, it's like mutagen or something.
Exactly.
And he's like, that's oil.
Hey, you got an oil leak.
Yeah, they're all over the place.
And I'm like, oh, and like he even like uses it to light the swamp on fire. Like, oh, it was oil. What the fuck made these Godzilla monsters? I don't know.
And they're all just saying, like, you can exaggerate animals a little, it makes sense, until you get into like King Kong style, whatever, I get it. And like they always do that. They make the animals more aggressive, or they make them like bigger or like more dangerous, or they combine multiple animals together or something like that. But it's so dumb. If you wanted to make these giant things that were like killers and like had all this like strength and like malice, because he says like they're starving, that's the whole reason. I'm like, oh, that's the reason, I guess. Oh, whatever.
They're starving. Drilling poison the environment, they got nothing to eat.
Like, it's so dumb, the whole thing.
Well, obviously, like, they should have been starving for years now.
Yeah.
Like, why did it build to a head now? Like, how did so many large animals survive this? Like, because they should have been infighting or something.
Yeah.
And they're still breeding. Like, we see, baby Komodos here and there across the movie. But the fact that they jumped 19 years before anyone even notices there are Komodos on the island, that's what's fucking weird.
Yeah.
And, like, you waited until they were the peak of maturity?
I don't even know how long they live, but who cares about that? It's just like yes, to your point, why did nothing happen 17 years in, or like it's 10 years in? Like, what's going on?
At a certain point, the wildlife should all be almost all gone, and you'd be like, wait a minute, what did that?
Yeah, so whatever. And then also the like sin of structuring, like the structure of this movie is fucking bananas. It's like 25 minutes until the shrink gets back to the island with the kid.
Mr. Gritz?
The big ones can hear you.
We need a ride to the island.
Yeah.
So like you have dude dumps the eggs. 19 years, then kid watches his parents get eaten. Then more time, and then kid is catatonic and is like talking weird and stuff, and then they have to drag him back to the island again. This is crazy. I'm so bored. I want to kill myself.
And then it goes, but like blitzkrieg toward the end, where like the kid becomes a native or something, and he's got like blood war paint.
Yes.
He's set up traps. He like hangs a Komodo, which I was unclear what he could have possibly counterlevered that with. I'm like, the thing is so fucking big.
Like shit falls from like the ceiling of the building or something like that, and she gets trapped under something, I think, too.
Under like a perfect dome.
Yeah. So like it's like the top of the filter station or something. This is the only part that I liked was when he goes Lord of the Flies.
Yeah, I liked it. It doesn't make sense, but I liked it.
No, and it's crazy that he can just easily kill them, it seems like. Yeah. Where I'm like, why did the two guys with guns have all these problems? They're all like, I don't know how we're gonna find them. They're huge and they're trying to kill you, it seems like. Just kill them.
He even says, I don't need you and your fear. I've got this. You're like,
he says,
what?
He says like a few things. He says, I don't need you and your guns, I think, too.
We've got to get out of here right now. I don't need you guys. I don't need your guns. I don't need your fear. Just leave me alone.
I'm like, yes, you do. What are you talking about? But like that's a cool thing to put in like a thing. But like, oh my God, everything around that.
I don't even get why they're on the island at all anymore, honestly.
Yeah. Because
who cares? Like once you have because they hit water with the oil. They're no longer processing oil on this island.
He says they did, but we are to believe that is a lie.
How many of them are there?
Well, just a couple since they stopped drilling 2-3 months ago. Somebody said they hit water.
Are we?
I think so.
I don't know. I wasn't sure because how convoluted and stupid their plot kind of is.
Really?
It almost doesn't matter. Because what is the ultimate plan here? I'll leave 2 guys behind. They'll eventually kill all these things that are starving anyway.
They're starving
just
anyway.
Walk away and let them die. I was unclear. Yes. And they these gigantic, and like they're gigantic things, just get into buildings like it's nothing. Yeah. They're at one point just in the living room of the house, and I'm like, how the fuck did they get in the living room? Because it didn't seem like it came into that little hole that she burst in. It seems like it left through that hole. So I'm like, how did it get in the house in the first place? How does it get into their facility?
And it's such a dramatic scene when Annie, the like housekeeper or like the kid keeper or whatever,
his aunt,
Aunt Annie, is like fucking slowly, dramatically dragged down the thing.
That would be a brutal moment for you because there's no help that could save you. The thing is so big, it has you. And she doesn't have the knowledge, but you would die anyway because the infection is fucking ridiculous.
Yes, we have a nice thing with Komodo infections and stuff. But no,
and that's all real.
They're just, But that's like the thing where like someone hears about that from like a nature show, and then years later it's like, I'm going to make a movie where the Komodos are, and all that stuff. But yes, no, it's like so dramatic and drawn out, and you're meant to think all these things about all this, and it's just, it's hollow, there's nothing there. It's so dumb. I hate everything.
Yeah, the blacking out completely that the kid does, we're like, I don't know what did anything. And the ineptness of the sheriff, who I would have liked to have seen be on the take or something, just because he's like, there was no evidence of anything.
Size of my nose, if there'd been any kind of scent, I'd have picked it up. Them Connolly folk vanished.
They disappeared without a trace. I'm like, there should be blood everywhere.
No, okay, I thought about that too, right? Where he's like, they vanished. If there was something here,
there's even a stain on the porch that they look at. They're like, there's blood right there.
He would have had to have been on the take from the oil company. And
You'd think.
I assume that's in like an earlier version of the script, or they just like abandoned that or something like that. Because he says vanished, and I'm like, they don't even swallow anybody whole anyway.
We don't ever see that happen.
They just like tear them apart and do weird stuff.
We don't even see that happen.
Well, I just mean like,
but
they're not,
Well, based on how big they are, they probably could, but they don't do that.
But they're not leaving no trace the way other things.
The boy should have a wound or something. It bit his leg and dragged him back. So at the very least, it should be like a Deep Blue Sea 2 thing where
my shoe's all fucked up.
Yeah, he should have some scratches on his shoe. Because I'm like, what was it? The perfect bite? Like maybe a smaller one got him. But
it's all off camera. We don't know or anything.
We don't really ever see it. We see the babies, which he's happily roasting one in his little fort thing. And we see the full-grown ones. We don't see any middle tier ones. It might have been cool to see some of that.
Yeah, this movie is very strange. It does very little with all of its like runtime and all of its things. I found the whole thing to be just like, there's this dramatic moment, you hinted at it earlier, where he like lights the swamp on fire to like kill the one or whatever. And this feels like, he's giving his life to save them. And then the Komodo comes out unharmed, it seems, and she has to kill it. But this is a cool Ripley moment, because that's the original one that she stabbed in the eye. Yeah. And now she like pounds in the like broomstick into its head.
I did like that.
That's awesome. Yeah, good. So he didn't give his life for nothing. Maybe whatever. Oh no, he's fine too. He's barely singed and then steals the helicopter, right?
I didn't understand how they got separated, because like they all seemed to be together, and then all of a sudden the big boss shows up for no reason, and we get no payoff with that whatsoever. There's not like a "you've left us to die," like you don't really get any of that moment, or the Komodo's actually killing him. We're not even clear. Are there even more? Like, how many Komodos could there even have been on the island to begin with?
This is the villain, the British accent oil guy, right? Does he have a British accent?
I believe Australian. This movie takes place in Australia.
Okay, so guy with accent.
Georgia in the movie, but
guy
Australia.
with like weird scarred face and like an accent.
Say again.
Well, let me clarify. It would be very inconvenient at this time for there to be the need of anyone to be picked up.
Evil businessman is there, yes. And we trap him there, and he goes, drats. And then, like, presumably goes in, closes the door, and, like, calls for help or something, and just
the Komodos are inside, too, though, so...
Well, like, but you are right. It doesn't feel like we've condemned him to death.
Nothing.
It doesn't feel like, he was a victim of his own hubris. He just steals the helicopter while they're inside. It's
Why
very
did
boring.
he even come there? There was no like, I'm coming for this. Like,
no.
Because he was saying, I'm not going to help anybody. I'm going to leave you to die. I don't give a shit type of thing. And then he just shows up like understaffed for what he's doing.
Yeah,
it's like guys in
guards, yeah.
suits, and the
Right.
guy walks away. The pilot just like walks off in a random direction. I'm like, don't you people know what's happening here?
No, and there's-
and then he the other two, the psychologist and the boy, where were they going while he went for the helicopter? They seemingly were walking off a cliff because they're just in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, they're like running away from more Komodos or something. And then okay, then they get to like the cliff, and your brain goes like, oh, like Jurassic Park. So now the helicopter's going to be like hovering. They're going to have to jump and grab the thing and hoist them up, and the Komodos are going to, jump and bite them and fall down the cliff.
Or maybe
they're
some
gonna be
rotor
like,
blade
oh,
action.
wow, this is going to be awesome or something. He just lands nearby, and they just get on. Like it's the most boring
He shoots it in the
version
mouth.
of that. Yes.
Again, like Deep Blue Sea 2.
Yeah, no, we have the flare gun in the mouth thing, but it's a boring ass.
Oh,
he
yeah.
just lands the helicopter, they just get on, they just take off. There's no like Jurassic Park, rightly so, is like what this is aping off of, right?
Kinda.
And in Jurassic Park, what it's about is like the car is hanging off the thing and the window, the glass is cracking.
the tension doesn't have it here.
There's none of that happens here. It's so weird. This movie feels like a hollow shell of a movie.
It feels like an idea.
Yeah.
Because that whole like okay, and the eggs there for 19. And it's like I was like, oh, so was it an unestablished island? Did you get like no? Oh, is it no? Did they deforest and that's how they no? Like
No.
why?
There's
Are they
nothing.
magic or like are they big? Are
Yeah.
they special? Is it a rare species? What? No.
No, it like feels like you're saying, just the idea for a movie, just like
the skeleton of a movie.
They thought that the Komodos would like just be enough, and this is like the
They could have been enough for me had you a few little things like maybe don't make it an oil company, make that that's a front, and like oh they're buying up all this property because we're expanding our research, or one got out and it killed some people and we're like okay we got to take over the island so that no one else in this thing.
Or like they study different species, or they're doing something weird, right? Or like you're saying, have the people go to the island. Oh, like my parents are like geologists and like they're coming to the island and I'm just a kid and they're there to do something special. They don't tell me what they do for a living. It's very hush hush and some weird thing. And then have the hunter guy be a guy that came to the island who like works for them, but his friend is like, I've always wanted to hunt these things. This is like a very rare thing. Just do all that dumb shit. Like if you're gonna just say, well, the plot can be anything. You have to pick something.
Yeah,
you have to put
they
something
chose a
in
lot
there.
of just nothing.
There's a bunch
and
of nothing ends.
I love the cars they drive, like like how the because it
Jeepy
makes
thing,
sense because
or-
often they do a thing where like they kind of run like a chicken wire or like a fencing or bars like right along the glass, and I'm like, well, if that was dented at all, it would still smash the glass. This they went from like the hood to the top of the car, so it had this like great like there'd be room to take an impact, and I was like, I like that. That's smart.
The Jeep thing. The stuff
Yeah,
he's
I think it was a
driving
pickup
around?
truck, but yeah,
the tough vehicle.
the Aussie Outback car.
Oh yes.
I like that. It just there's not a lot of things that I'm like, ooh, that was a cool standout moment. It's just very strange to have these gigantic beasts and not have any explanation as to why they're so big.
The finale is fine. There's like a little point there where she crawls up on one and one more comes out. This is when like the kid kills the one.
There's one jump scene around there when it bursts through the pipe.
Yeah, that got me like, okay, cool, now we're doing something. But like overall, and like, okay, so like I'm cheating because I know this now, so I'm like, I've like framed a bunch of my statements like this. But the director of this directed exactly one movie, this, and he has 80-something credits for special effects.
Yeah.
On such movies as 3 or 4 Jurassic Park movies, Minority Report, AI, artificial intelligence, a bunch of other shit.
He does that good.
So this is like so many other movies. Oh, the special effects guys like, I'll make it my own movie. Fuck you. And I'm gonna put the best Komodo dragons in it ever, and that's gonna be enough to make it a $1 billion movie. And this is what you get.
It was originally designed to be a theatrical release movie.
Yeah.
It did not get that. The investors pulled out beforehand.
I was gonna say, do you have the budget? It's like
it
a lot,
was
right?
$11.5 million US dollars.
Oh, okay.
It was 15 million Australian.
Okay, I thought it was like double that for some reason, but I might have seen that.
I would imagine he was able to put double that on the screen because he's like, I got my boys, I do this thing, I know what I'm doing, like blah blah blah. And there's like, we got Crossing Jordan's in this or whatever. Like you have some actors.
Patrick is suffering from post-traumatic stress syndrome. He's repressed the memory of the event, but he's reliving it every time he closes his eyes.
But in general.
We have to pause there. Jill Hennessy.
Yes.
My wife. I know her from Law and Order, and I don't know why. I was probably like, I had a crush on her as a kid or something like that. I never saw, she's like Jordan from Crossing Jordan. I've never seen that show.
That's a pretty good show.
That's like a famous show. That's probably more famous. But I knew her from Law and Order, and she would pop up here and there, and I would always be like, oh, cool, it's you, or something. So like, I had the same reaction here to
She's
this.
fine, but she has no script to be really working on.
And she's not enough to save it. She's not like one of those actors or actresses.
You would need a real hammy B actor to kind of save this, and she is an actress.
Right.
It's not who you want for this role.
So she's just earnestly being this weird, like shrink doing non-traditional therapy in this like empty movie. It's so weird.
She gets the total tank top time though, and she
does. She has to rock out, and it rains.
Yes.
Perfect. So we get the tank top in the rain. But she sells it. She works fine, and everything's good with her. But yeah, she's surrounded by.
There's
like,
not
nothing.
enough cast in this movie to really do anything because nobody can die.
Right.
Like what is 2 people died. It's the tugboat captain or whatever.
Fine, Patrick.
And he dies like almost off screen after just being like drooled on or whatever.
And bitten, right? He's like attacked.
It's unclear based on the 2 people that are injured how they could have been injured in a way that would make any sense. Because our other boy, like
Denby,
Denby, he has like a little cut around his neck, and I'm like, well, the size of these things. What cut you? Like, did you get caught like on a piece of metal as you were running away from it? Because that should have taken your head off if you got bit at the neck.
And the audacity of him to walk in and do like an action movie, like, what are you doing, a load of whites in here? And then he turns around, and he's like, oh, you're dead, oh no.
And then he one-shots a fucking Komodo.
So, but like to your point, and again, like they're just animals, but is that making this better or worse? Because that means it like nibbled on his neck and then went and hid, and then waited for the dramatic line to happen, and then came out.
That's almost on par with a Komodo's thing, because they bite you, wait for you to weaken, because they're not, typically they're not gigantic dragon monsters, so they don't want to get injured at all. So they wait for you to get too weak to fight back, and then they kill you. So I'm like, okay, that should still be hardwired in your DNA, whether you're the big end or the little guy.
I understand that, but this does not happen to his parents.
No.
It does not happen to the dog. It does not happen.
I don't think it ever would happen to the dog, honestly, because that's like Odie. It's like a small little bitch dog.
Should be able to just take care of it.
I think so. But yeah, so, for everyone else, it should.
Yeah. So like the way that you could enhance this then is to have the guy, instead of saying his line, say something like point to like where it is, or like indicate like shh, 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 or like do something like it's waiting, or like turn my attention somewhere else before we do the thing. But I like that he shot it, but that again just shows how easy they are to kill. So I don't know what the fuck the problem is.
Yeah. And if you're a oil company, you are a super billion-dollar company.
Yeah.
You could just, okay, we got Blackwater here, we're dropping them down for one day, 800 of them, and they killed everything. Okay, back to profits. If indeed it is still an operational oil base. Yeah. And if it's not, move.
That's what I'm saying. Is if it's not, just leave. What are you doing?
Yeah, you there's no proof on record that you knew Komodos existed.
Yeah, is it a fake oil company that's actually like an animal trafficking company or something? Was that the thing? It's hard to understand the plot because there's no plot.
I don't think so, but that would make sense maybe, because why was it ever there? I don't understand.
Like why was this tiny island the stop along the way? I guess you don't want to go to a major port, but still, what the hell is going on?
But there wasn't even a port on this island. That's the problem. But there's a port like a couple minutes down the way.
It's like a meeting place for the people that need the rhino horn and like the shark fin. Or
very weird. And what's that dude? He's like, these eggs smell. Fuck it, and just throws them out. I'm like, that's like probably thousands and thousands of dollars you threw away because it smells funny.
He got them for free. There's a line of dialogue where he says, I threw in a little something because someone else watched it like you just did and said, he can't be throwing out eggs. This is his job. Someone's going to be like, where are the eggs? It's going to be this thing. Yeah. So no, they had to add this line of dialogue where he says, I put a little something extra in there for you.
Toss them in for free. If they hatch, I'll send you a cigar.
It's horrible. The movie sucks. I'm so sorry.
I don't think it sucks. I don't think it's good.
No,
I think it's enjoyable for the visuals alone, like to get your mind running on what you would do to make this a good movie, or like some things like an exercise almost. It's like, as a younger person, it's like I saw this like in '99. Like, new, we're like, oh, pop that in the VCR. What do you got? Oh, big things. I like big things. One word title. You're speaking my language.
No, and like from that angle, like it's too like well made to suck. But
Yeah.
but like for me, this is like it's like hilariously lopsided. Where like usually we're like scoring the different aspects of the film, and like the like actual film, the actual like script, I guess, or like the writing or whatever, is like so crazy because usually you pick
It's
apart
inverted. Usually it's the other way.
well, and like you might pick apart the writing for like, haha, they said this earlier, but then later it just blows up. So why didn't it blow up before? Or some dumb shit like that. Here, there's just like nothing written down.
holes, yeah.
It's so weird, and like that I think bothers me more than almost like anything else that a movie could possibly do. So I find this like offensive.
Even where they try to do things where like, oh, I have a script. It like the Oates character, who later on goes on to play in a show called Zoo, where he plays this almost same character. Also, like the biologist that's like, oh, I'm tough and do stuff.
Also, Twilight, Bella Swan's dad.
Don't care about that. But yes, so his character, he's roped into working this way because they are on the island. His wife gets killed by Komodos, and there's not a shred of evidence where she went. So obviously he's the murderer. And I'm like, that's not how murder trials work. If they don't have a body, you don't even know someone's dead.
Okay, but even if he's getting railroaded, they have to give him this backstory. They have to get them on like a little perch in like a soundstage just to like have this dramatic dialogue where she's like, I'm doing a shitty job of being a shrink, and he's like, well, I got railroaded with my dead wife, and I'm here. I'm actually a good guy.
Said he'd get me a passport and some money and a boat. All I had to do was take care of this little situation for him.
My character should be this like renegade hunter mercenary guy, but don't worry, I'm not that. Even though I don't look like that at all, but don't worry, I'm not that.
No, I'm the perfect guy to be hired to murder these things because I am not someone who murders things at all. I'm not tough. I'm in fact a guy who wears glasses and reads books. Like I'll do this.
Books. Yeah, and I'm.
You don't know who the other guy is or what his job is. He smokes cigars though, so he doesn't have the physical condition.
This is great. Thank you so much. I'm gonna have one of these right now.
But he's like, oh, can you imagine? Kill an endangered species. And it's like, yes, so like again, why does the multi-mega corporation hire a random dude who's like, well, he was compromised?
I feel like there's some outback hunter dude that would do this for free just because I like the meat. I want to put the head on the wall, making boots.
Yeah. Do you know who else is like compromised and will like not rat you out? People who do this for a living who will just pay and be like, here you go, do your thing. Oh, it's amazing.
Alive or dead?
So aside from the kid going native, and that's kind of cool, he's like a crazy person. Aside from the fact that he's actually a crazy person that like they want to institutionalize.
It's PTSD or something.
He cuts the heart out of one and like I have to assume ate it. I don't know, or rubbed it on his chest to get the blood. I don't know what his thing was, but he just like runs off into the tall grass. When you're like, what do you know exactly what the problem is, and you just run out in there.
Yeah,
I don't understand that at all.
And this is sold to you, through some dialogue later, like, oh, this is him, because people do that. Like you have trauma, and now you're trying to like right what was wrong. Like, oh, you blame yourself for not killing the Komodos when you were younger? Like, what the hell is going on?
Or screaming and saying, hey, there's some stuff here.
I don't know,
think more or less, she nailed it on the head though when she's like, you blame yourself because you led them back to your house. And I'm like, yeah,
I know,
you probably shouldn't have been out there in the first place.
But he's trying to like overcorrect for that by literally now going on like a murder spree, killing all these Komodos and stuff.
What is funny though is like, you could have, like, they had an idea that I think could have been a decent one as to this whole thing. Like, oh, because you tried to catch the baby, the mom got pissed off, chased you to your house and killed your parents. It's your fault. But what we see was you tried to catch the baby, they ate the baby and then came for you because the line was broken and it was covered in blood. Like that's what I believe they're displaying there. I
have no idea.
The baby Komodo, he lassoed it and it ran away, like taking the lasso with it. So presumably he chased after it because it just cuts and it's nighttime now. So we don't know exactly what happened. But he sees the rope and he's like, and he pulls it back and it's bloody.
So in my memory, that was not a baby Komodo. It was some other type of lizard.
I think it's.
I could be wrong.
Oh, it is not actually a baby Komodo.
Well,
but based on the fact
it's not a fake baby Komodo either, right? It's just
no. I believe in the movie that is supposed to be a baby Komodo because one of them's like in their car. He in the beginning sees it, and then he is roasting one of those over the fire. So that's the biggest thing where I'm like, oh, it's supposed to be a baby Komodo because he's killing it because he's like, fuck you, baby Komodo.
No, yeah, I did.
Or he just says fuck you to all lizards.
No, like I didn't catch the roasting scene, which I think would have.
It's in the clubhouse, which when you first see it, I'm like, wow, this is some Ernest level shit. Like this is awesome. What the fuck is this? How did you make this? And then they say it's like a water treatment plant or whatever. So like he did not make that.
It's a filter station and stuff. And it was there when he was younger too. But I didn't catch the roasting scene. So to me, I thought that was just other wildlife that he was familiar with because he wasn't like, what's this weird lizard? I don't know. But either way, he could have led it there. And either way, I can't explain why that rope that he saves forever, right, is like bloody.
He wrapped around his fingers and they returned black when he got found.
But there's how we found him.
it's very strange what was in the evidence box.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, so they didn't look for any
Cool
blood, but they were
pictures.
like, yes, these doodles of the map of the island, that you couldn't have done that while you were waiting, so this is probably from when you were a kid. We'll take that. We got this picture of you from Christmas, or like whatever the fuck you take.
It's a whole like exposition box or something. And then the cop gives it to her, and they go to the beach, and she's like talking to him. Oh, it's so boring. Yeah.
You don't understand.
I need you to help me understand.
You think I'm crazy?
They do a lot of setup to set these types of things up. But yes, we end up back in the same clubhouse. And honestly, in the like flashback, it had that same noose there. So I don't know what the hell we're supposed to. I remember seeing it and be like, what the hell is that? And I think that's what he grabs the thing with later. It's probably just
maybe it's a
production
swing
thing.
or something.
Yeah,
or
probably
a mistake, as we call them.
That's what I mean. Either way, but it's something there. But yeah, I like that filter station. The kid was a kid, but I thought he was fine. This is Kevin Zegers or Zegers or something. He's been in a few.
Yeah, I always call him like not Zac Efron.
Yeah, fake Zac Efron.
Because he does fit that role. And he's good. He's fine. He's been in things we've reviewed before.
Okay, I was gonna say he's the stoner in Wrong Turn, I believe.
Yes,
I'm not sure.
He was also in the Headless Horseman one with the Backstreet Boy.
Oh, which one was he?
Sleepy Hollow or Hollow, whatever it was called. He was the main character.
He's the main guy. Oh, he sucks. Never mind. Okay, I thought he was good. I thought he was like had potential in this because he's younger in this, right? He's still like,
this is the youngest.
He's still forming.
He's in like the Air Buds, I want to say. He gets around. He has a lot of things.
Is he a Disney Family Channel guy?
I would assume. I don't know. But no, like I don't think he was the down part of this. I think literally just the script is the worst enemy, and maybe that's what happens when you get like an effects guy to like run a movie. Maybe just you don't.
Which sometimes you end up with with a crazy balls to the wall, whatever.
Like Deadpool or something.
Yeah, but these effects are like these are really good effects for like a real movie movie.
Yeah.
Where you could be like, wow, the lion that Michael Douglas is hunting looks so real or something. But you have to have a fucking whole movie there. You can't just have like.
Just
like
integrating tables
framework.
Flipping with CGs and prosthetics is not enough.
And that's a really good scene because that happens early, and that's when I perked up like, oh shit, maybe the beginning was boring, but now we're in for a movie and everything looks so good, and yeah, it's really well integrated. The whole like the drawers open and like fly up, and it's like the table's not fake, the table's real, right?
Yeah,
it's great.
No, like a lot of potential, but
take this and smash it together with like a real movie that had bad effects. You'd have like an awesome movie.
Yeah. So the tugboat captain guy, the ferry captain, the guy who has like
the guy that comes back and says, "You've got the Shining."
And I'm glad you said that because I almost think that because he's there, he's like And he starts loading his gun. And I'm like, there was no reason to load your gun at that point. You had no idea there's something wrong. I'm like, the most you could possibly posit that's happening here is when we are trespassing, there's probably armed guards. I do want to get caught with a gun.
I'd like to shoot some guards.
That's the only thing you could think of here. And then he somehow makes it to there's like one road that leads to literally nowhere.
Yes.
And that's where he is.
Road, yes.
He would have had to walk past the house. He would have had to walk past everything to get to where he was, where he pops out at the car on them. And I'm like, what happened here? And he's already been attacked. So at that point,
I was gonna say like him being physically there, I'm okay with because he could have been chased by Komodos.
Yeah.
So I'm like whatever. But yes, his like function in the script is very much that thing where he like this would have worked if like, oh, I've been the ferry guy for 42 years and there's a legend of a beast that lives on the island or something where he goes like, I don't know, the chupacabra might kill them. You don't believe in that? Oh, of course not. Loading his gun. Like that would have been an awesome.
Sure.
But that's not in there. It's
no.
just it's no reason to think that.
There's nothing. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And there's some relationship between him and the boy that he sees like probably once a summer for maybe the last 10
Twice
years.
a summer because he has to go back.
Yes.
No,
that's very strange.
Yeah, like he like rubs his head like oh, you're like old friend.
Yeah.
It has that weird like he's giving him advice like how you doing and stuff. Like they have a little like relationship, but it's like
It does seem like even when they go back to the island, that like for like before the parents die, like when they're actually just going to the island seems like it's already locked down. No trespassing is what he rides his bike right past, getting off onto the island.
Yeah, he steals the sign and then takes it to the clubhouse where there's more signs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's been taking them for years.
And so that means that filter station's already not in use 19 years ago.
Yeah.
Which means, yeah.
That 19 years didn't pass since he's been taking signs.
Oh, that's true.
1 year passed.
1 year?
1 year.
Does it say how long passed?
I believe it's been 1 year.
Okay,
but to me, I'm like, so what happened? We're like, that house is still standing.
Yeah.
You owned that house at some point, or did you rent it? I don't think you rented it because your possessions are all in the house. Pictures of your family's in the house. Your food's in the house. Shit gets all disrupted. So you should still own that house 1 year later.
Yeah.
Or Aunt Annie or whatever got a check for it or something, because I don't understand how they're trespassing.
Well, I was going to say, so like what you're getting at is like, how is this technically trespassing?
Yeah.
Can't you be like, we have a house there?
Yeah,
and
that's
the whole
my
thing?
house. We're in my house.
Like you would think there's some, like have some other reason to go there, but then have the shrink say, no, we have to bring the boy back there. I disagree. And then like have this uneasy where like Annie's there for one reason. Oh, I have to go do this because of the house. They have to sell it. We need the money. I don't want to go there either, but we have to have some plot in the movie.
Yeah, we're the last family on the island. The oil companies bought up all the property, something.
Right.
Fucking stupid movie. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Let us know in the comments what you thought about it. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next time.
If you want to support the show, head over to cannibalvideo.com, pick up some merch.
And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button.
That's all right.
Yeah, that's something.
Whatever.
Fuck these motherfuckers.
Kid cut its heart out. Very weird.
Cannibal Video has everything you need. A wide array of VHS and DVDs. We ate the competition.